Today I did not feel like editing, so I decided that I'm not gonna edit this video, so I'm gonna try my best to talk as best as I can. I personally enjoy these videos a lot, like videos that you can put on in the background while you're studying, while you're playing games, or while you're cleaning your room. Like, I enjoy these videos a lot, so I decided why not try and make one. And today I'm gonna be telling you my favorite WWE matches so far of the year. I'm gonna be going through my top 10. I'm gonna be telling you why, and I'm gonna be also giving you some honorable mentions. So let's start now. My honorable mentions are Io Sky vs Asuka from Backlash. I think this is probably the best women's match this year so far. I enjoyed this match, but I do think it's a little overrated. Like, a lot of people act like it's some 5-star classic, which I don't think it is. I think it's like a good 9 out of 10, but I don't think it's perfect, and I think that these two could have had a better match. I genuinely do think could have had a way better match, but it was Asuka's like retirement match. Like, she went away for some time, so I think it was a good match, a good send off for Asuka. But still, I still think we could have gotten a little bit more out of this. I think as a whole, Backlash was a great pay-per-view. Like, I enjoyed the pay-per-view, and I was hoping that maybe Clash in Italy would be the same as that. Like, every single match would get a lot of time, but nope. It was just a Cinema Slop Bloodline, Cinema Slop pay-per-view. That's what I wanted to say. Then we have another Io Sky match as an honorable mention, and that is the one against Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship on Raw, 27th of April. Again, a good match. That ended in DQ. I think these two should definitely run it back at some point this year. Becky is not doing anything right now, so, and also Io is in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and I think she may win. So if she wins the title from Liv, or whoever is the champion, I think it's still gonna be Liv, and at SummerSlam it's gonna be Liv versus Io for the title. If Io wins the title, which I think she should, I think a rivalry against the heel Becky Lynch could be a great first rivalry, but then you never know. Most of the title reigns, there's not been a single good women's title reign when it comes to the world title in such a long time. Can't remember the last one. I mean, Nia Jax had a pretty fun one, but it still wasn't anything special. So yeah. Then we have Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night's Main Event. I know it wasn't a match, it was a fight, but I thought it was an incredibly entertaining fight. I liked the ending with Drew McIntyre choke slamming both of them, or whatever he did, through the tables. I thought it was fun, and I think we should have had a triple threat with these three for the title. We didn't. But again, it was a super fun fight, and I thought it was a great opening, and I thought it was the best decision. Like, Jacob versus Cody is one of my favorite rivalries. Let me know down in the comments if you would like me to make a video similar to this, but on rivalries. But Cody versus Jacob is one of my favorite rivalries this year, and it's crazy to say because the rivalry was like 3 weeks long. Like, it wasn't even a month long, but it still was super fun, and I thought it was the best decision. It didn't have to end in a DQ. No one looked worse than the other, so I thought this was a great decision. And then, as my final honorable mention, I have Finn Balor versus JD McDonough in a street fight on Raw, 18th of May. This was a great match between two technical wrestlers. There, 2 previous matches I thought were pretty okay. I didn't think they were anything special, but I'm a massive fan of Finn. I like JD McDonough. I think he's one of the most underrated superstars on the roster. And this was a great, intense match. I really loved this match. I would give it, I think this is probably, out of these honorable mentions, this is probably number 1 when it comes to the honorable mentions. And it barely did not make my top 10. Now let's go into the top 10. Now, the 10th, my favorite match of this year is Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, 3 stages of Hell WWE title on the second SmackDown of the year. That ending was incredible, with Jacob Fatu returning and accidentally costing Cody, Drew winning the title, which he deserved so much. I thought it was super entertaining. The match itself was great, and I was surprised that Drew got the first fall in the normal match, but I thought it was great. I thought it was incredible. Their previous matches that they had that year weren't that great, but they did have a great match on Raw before WrestleMania 40. I think it was before the Elimination Chamber. It was like the Go Home show, the Elimination Chamber 2024, if I'm correct, that Drew ended up winning. So I thought also this match was great. And SmackDown at the end of the year, like the first 3-4 episodes of SmackDown, I think were great. Probably, when I think about it, the first 3 episodes of SmackDown were great, and then the next 2 were pretty okay, and then it was going downhill, and now we're at the point where it kind of sucks again. My 9th favorite match of the year is Gunther versus AJ Styles on Raw. This was the Raw from Dusseldorf, Germany, on the 12th of January. WWE at the start of the year was incredible because most of the matches are from the first month, which is kind of insane. But January I thought was a great month for the WWE. Probably January was the best month for the WWE since like October 2024. Probably like maybe like August 2024. So yeah, great month. This match was great. I like it more than the Royal Rumble match. Even though some people may prefer the Rumble one, I don't. I think this was better. Even though the ending, did not really like the ending, but still, I think this match was better than the Rumble one, and incredible match. Now we have a match that for a lot of people, it's their match of the year. It's a 5-star classic from Dave Meltzer, and it is 8th on my top 10 list of the year so far, and that is CM Punk vs. Roman Reigns World Heavyweight Title WrestleMania Night 2 main event. Don't get me wrong, this was an incredible match, great match, but I'm not a fan of either of these two, and this is not the list of the best matches, this is the list of my favorite matches. So of course, even though it was an incredible match, and I can tell you, like, yeah, it's probably like a 9.75 out of 10, and it will probably be remembered for a long time as one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. To me, it's still not one of my favorites because neither Punk or Roman are my favorite wrestlers. But still, great match. The ending should have not happened. I am firmly behind the fact CM Punk should have retained, and he should have dropped the title to LA Knight at Backlash. That is how I would have booked it. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to bring back the booking videos. I used to do videos where I would like fantasy book the road to pay-per-views, or like fantasy booking the pay-per-views, matches, outcomes, and all the type of stuff. Let me know down in the comments if you would like me to continue with that, if you would like me to bring that back. Alright, then 7th I have Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins from Backlash. A lot of people again preferred their Raw match that they had recently, and I also thought that match was great, but I think it was a little dragged out, and because it was on Raw and it had not that many commercials, but it still had a few commercials in there, I think that slowed the match down a little bit. Even though I on Raw, because I'm from Europe, I can still see the matches even when it's a commercial. I still think it hurt the match a bit, so I think this one is better. But I do think their third match, the one that they're going to be having in Night of Champions, the Steel Cage match one, I think that's going to be better than both of those two that happened. I think that's going to blow both of those out of the water, because I genuinely think these two have a 5-star classic in them. And if this is the last match of their rivalry, they should definitely go all out. They should have a great Steel Cage match, and I hope they're going to utilize the Steel Cage. There's a lot of Steel Cage matches nowadays don't really utilize the Steel Cage, like they don't use that Steel Cage as a weapon. And I think like that's kind of a lost art. Like one of the matches that did utilize the Steel Cage as a weapon in a good way was Becky versus Trish Stratus in 2023, either like Payback or Fastlane, one of those two. Like that match was one of the greatest Steel Cage matches I've ever watched. A great match. I loved it. They used it to the maximum, and I think, of course, Seth and Becky, they had that dynamic. So I think Seth versus Braun inside the Steel Cage is going to be the best match out of these two. But still, Braun out of them three. But Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins at Backlash is my 7th favorite match of all time. Now let's go to the 6th. It's a match that happened pretty recent, and that is Penta versus Rey Mysterio for the IC title on Raw. I think it was in Paris, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think it was in Paris. Great match. I love this match. Two great luchadors. I'm a massive fan of the high flying style. I'm a massive fan of Penta. Penta is one of my favorite wrestlers this year. So yeah, awesome match. Two of the greatest luchadors right now, or even of all time. So yeah, I would definitely love to see a rematch between these two. Now in 5th place, I have a match that I originally had in my top 3, but I kind of switched it now because I rewatched it recently, and that's Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles at Saturday Night's main event, the first Saturday Night's main event of the year. Again, as I'm telling you, like, the first month of the year was genuinely incredible, and this match is a perfection showing of it. Like, AJ Styles had how many matches this year? 3, I think it was 3. 2 with Gunther, 1 with Shinsuke, and all 3 were bangers, and all happened in the month of January. January was a great month for the WWE. This is a 10 out of 10. This match is a 10 out of 10, and I would actually rank this higher than my 4th and 3rd place in terms of overall in-ring and psychology. But again, as I said, this is my favorite matches, not the best matches. And even though I love both Shinsuke and AJ Styles, I don't know why I have it in 5th place, but I can't explain it to you. Like, there's something off about this match to me. There's something off about this match. Even though I love the match and I think it's a 10 out of 10, there's something that is keeping myself from putting it in the top 3 of my favorite wrestlers, my favorite matches of the year. Even though I think it is top 3 best matches, but it is not top 3 my favorite matches. I don't know if that makes sense at all. And if it doesn't, sorry for that. But to me, it does make sense. And it is in the 5th place. Now, in 4th place, I have Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov on SmackDown. Again, from the first month of the year. It's the 3rd SmackDown. By the way, the 3rd SmackDown of the year on the 16th of January. From London, I think it was. I think that's the greatest SmackDown we've seen in the Triple H era. Like, I genuinely think that's an incredible show. Like, I enjoyed everything about that show from the start till the end. Even though that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Kiana James and Julia match wasn't the best. I think that's the match. Hopefully, I still enjoyed everything in this show. And the main event was Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. Sami and Ilya are 2 of my favorite wrestlers. So yeah, incredible match. I really like, these 2 have a great dynamic. Ilya is just like he's so real in the ring. Like, he wrestles like he doesn't know wrestling is fake, and that's why I love Ilya so much. And Sami Zayn is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. I don't care how many of you hate him. He is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, and it really shows because these 2 have a great dynamic and awesome match. Also love the stakes. Then on 3rd place, we are getting into the top 3. I have CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship from Dublin. What can I say about this match? This was the first sign of Finn Balor coming back as a babyface, and it was awesome. He brought back the theme song, so the build up to this was like 1 week, but that's completely fine because this match was a banger. And I think I am of the opinion that this match was incredible, but their Elimination Chamber match was mid. I don't like that Elimination Chamber match that they had in Chicago. I don't like that match. I think there could have been a stipulation to this. This could have been like a street fight, or the second one could have been a street fight or a no holds barred, no DQ, something like that, or a Chicago street fight. There could have been a Chicago street fight, but they instead went with a normal match, and I don't like that Elimination Chamber match. But I do love this one, and I think this was the best match out of CM Punk's title reign. Then on 2nd place, I have another match from the 3rd edition of SmackDown and another match from January. And that is Javon Evans versus Carmelo Hayes for the US title. Again, as I said, I am a massive fan of the high-flying style. Some of my favorite wrestlers are... oh my god, did I say Javon Evans? I have Javon Evans written here. The whole time, you know who I meant to say? Leon Slater. I'm sorry. I'm super sorry. I'm not gonna be cutting it out. That's a mistake that I made. But Leon Slater versus Carmelo Hayes for the US title. Leon Slater, Javon Evans, Penta, Rey Fenix, Axiom, Rey Mysterio. Like, these guys are people that I could watch every single week. I don't understand why Rey Fenix wasn't on SmackDown every week. The same with Ilya. I don't understand what Ilya is. Same with Shinsuke. Like, where is Shinsuke? Why is he not wrestling? Like, why are we having these great wrestlers? You have 3 hours of screen time, right? And instead of it being filled with Bloodline, with MFTs, with all this terrible shit, you could have you could literally throw together a match like Rey Fenix versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ilya Dragunov, Rey Fenix versus Ilya Dragunov. You could have a great dynamic. You have Finn on SmackDown now, so you could throw him in there. And you could have Finn versus Shinsuke, Finn versus Ilya, Finn versus Rey Fenix, Finn versus Axiom. Like, you could have all these great matches. And I know none of these are gonna happen because for whatever reason the show sucks. But they were really getting it good. Like, they were genuinely getting it. They were getting it straight. They were straightening out the product at the start of the year, and then it went all downhill. And then my number one match of the year, and this is the match of the year, I think the best match of the year, but also my favorite match of the year, and that is Penta versus Dragon Lee for the IC title on Raw 16th of March. This is incredible. I absolutely love this match. I've watched this match so many times. Like, a sign to me that a match is great is I can watch it a lot of times and not get bored of it. Some of my favorite matches: Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, Seth Rollins versus Chad Gable on the Raw after the Royal Rumble 2023. Those are some of my favorite matches, and I can watch those matches over and over and over and over and not get tired of them. And that is exactly the same with this one, Penta versus Dragon Lee. They definitely have to run this back. I want to see Dragon Lee pushed to the moon. I think that Chad Gable is going to be the one to dethrone Penta for the IC title at SummerSlam, and the person that I think should dethrone Chad Gable after that and win the IC title is Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee deserves it. He was in an incredible tag team with AJ Styles. They revived the tag division, even though the tag division has fallen back down on Raw and on SmackDown. Both of those tag divisions are terrible. But he revived that tag division with AJ Styles. And then after AJ retired, he got into a great program with Gunther, even though the program was short and we had not even a promo between the two, but we had that incredible fight where Gunther killed Dragon Lee, then Dragon Lee caused Gunther, and then they had a fight on the Raw where AJ Styles had his farewell, and then their match was incredible. That was incredible. Then he had this match with Penta that was also incredible, 5-star, 10 out of 10. And then he was in that IC title ladder match, and then he went away, but now he's returned back, and I wanna see Dragon Lee in a top position in the mid card. I think he could be incredible. Like a match. Again, we have a lot of screen time, so instead of all these replays, like, why are we having Raw replays on SmackDown or SmackDown replays on Raw? I don't think that should be happening. Why are we having so many commercials, so many backstage segments? No. How about we take those 10-15 minutes that we have and we give it, and we get a genuinely a random match like Dragon Lee versus Austin Theory versus Austin Theory, not really, but versus Javon Evans. Dragon Lee and Javon Evans had a match on main event that was incredible. I loved that match. But a match like Dragon Lee versus Montez Ford, Dragon Lee versus Seth Rollins, Dragon Lee versus JD McDonald. We already got that, but you get the point. You get what I'm talking about. So yeah, these are my 10 favorite matches of the year so far. Let me know down in the comments what are yours. Support me down on my Hero, and let me know if you enjoy this type of style videos where I'm not editing anything. Oh my god, I can't talk. Maybe this is a bad idea because I'm terrible at speaking. I'm terrible at talking. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!